Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Full Stack Debugger, and today we are going to learn how to debug JavaScript. So as you see on my screen that I have taken two files, one is HTML, one is JS. This JS is defined inside this HTML that you can see it here. So if you are already using HTML, this is like you would be already familiar of HTML, and if you are learning JavaScript, then you will have to debug JavaScript sometimes to fix the bug. So here if you see, I've just defined this test.js. Instead you can just write your own on-click function or whatever method you want to write inside the JavaScript, you can write it here. Otherwise you can just write the source test.js, and then this test.js you can see it here. Inside this I have just created these many methods, like which we will be using to or do some operations. That is, here basically we are trying to add two numbers, and we'll try to take input for those numbers, and then we'll try to add. So for those we have just written this, I've just written these methods. So this is on click. Here we are just checking that if the inputs are empty or not. So if it is empty, we are just returning here and saying that one or both inputs are empty. If it is not empty, we'll go further, and then here we'll update the label. And update in the update label, what we are doing is we are just getting the number whatever we have taken as input. So that I'll show you. I'll just open this HTML in the browser, and then we can just check this how we can debug it, right? So let me just open this debugging.html. Okay, so when you just double click, it is opening like this in the browser, and here as you see, number one, this number one is an input field, then number two is also an input field, and here if you see add number one and number two, this is a button. So when you click on this, it will try to add these two numbers. So let me just show you the functionality first. So like here if you see 2 plus something, if you try to do, and even if one of them is empty, it will give this error, one or both inputs are empty. Okay, so now if you give 2 and 2 and click on this, it will give you 2 plus 2 is 22. So this is a bug actually. So what we will do is we will try to fix this bug. Like 2 plus 2 should be 4, but here it is showing 22. Okay, so first we'll debug how it works and what's happening exactly behind the scene. So let me show you, like, so for JavaScript debugging, what you can do is like it will you will always have to open the files in browser, and here you will be able to, if you do right click, you will be able to see this inspect. So you can click on this inspect, or you can use F12, that shortcut key. So either you use that or use this. Okay, so when you do inspect, you will be able to see this elements, console, and sources. Okay, so in the sources you will be able to see this java debugging.html, which I showed you already, which is there in my local system, and then test.js. So test.js is nothing but our JavaScript. Okay, so this is just an HTML, and we want to debug JavaScript and find out where exactly it is going wrong. Okay, so let me go to test.js. So this is the test.js which I've opened. Here you can do control P, and then here you will be able to see the files which you will be having in the source. So now I am just opening the test.js, which is already there open, but let me just try to reopen so that you guys can see it again, that it will open like that. And then here what I did is I have just put a debug point. Let me do it again for you. So right now there is no breakpoint. So yeah, so as I showed this breakpoints in my previous video, like how to debug Java. So there what we do is we put a breakpoint, like we can put the breakpoint in every line wherever we want to see that we are just suspecting that okay, here that bug might be there here in this line or in some other line. So you can just put a breakpoint wherever you want. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just putting a breakpoint to show you how it is going, like how the flow will go. Okay, so now if you see, I've just put the breakpoint in on click, and this is input. Inputs are empty. So this on click is nothing but this one. I have defined it here. Where is that? Yeah, so this is a button, right? So as soon as you click on this button, it will just do on click, and once we do on click, like on click of button, it will just go here. Okay, and then it will just go with this flow. Okay, so now what we will do is, let me go back to the browser. Yeah, so here if you see, I have just given this number. Let me remove these numbers. Okay, and now this browser is open. So if you click on add click, see, it will come here and stuck here. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. So when you put a breakpoint, it will come to that line. Now the thing is, now we will start debugging. Okay, so now here we already defined another method inside the if condition. Okay, we want to go inside this method. So there are like different different shortcut keys. We have F10, F8, then this is F11 and F12. Sorry, F11 only. Okay, so this is F11 control, and then this is F11 control shift plus F11, or control shift plus whatever. So that is fine, you can do it from here. You don't have to use the shortcut key for this. So now we want to go inside this method, since this also is a method, right? So here if you see, this is step into the next function you want to go, right? This is the one we want to use. Suppose you want to go to the next line, you can just see here this option is there, step over next function call F10. So when you do F10, it will go to the next line, that I'll show you later. Since we are here and we want to go inside this method, we will just click on this and it will go inside that method. So if you see, it came here, inputs are empty, right? This is the same method, so it is coming to this method now. Now here it will check this condition, get number is empty, get number 1 is empty or not, get number 2 is empty or not. So again this is a method, so we want to go inside this method also. So let's go again. So it is going in here, right? So now if you see, input 0 value is empty, so it will return the empty value, right? So suppose if you do next line, so like if you do a step over, then it will go to the next line. Next line means wherever it came from, it will go there. And since we are having this get number 1, like it will go back to this line, yeah, and here it checked, okay, it compared, get number 1 is returning empty and this empty is being checked with this one, so both are equal, so it is true and it will return true. Now we want to step out of this current function. We don't want to go further. Anyway, if you do F10, it will go to the next, like it will go back to that, and even if you do this, it will just return back to the method wherever it is called from. So if you do this, it came back to this line, right? Now if you see here, we have the text content, and here it is just writing a error message, one or both inputs are empty. So now if you just do F8, sorry, now if you do F10, then it will go to the next line. Now here simply we are returning it. So if you do again F10, then it will go there and go here, then that's all. So here if you see, you will be able to see that one or both inputs are empty. Okay, now we will just have some number here, 3 and 3, and then try to add. So now if you see, it will not go inside this inputs are empty, because we already know that inputs are not empty. So it will go further, so it is false because both are having the value, so directly it is going to the update level. Now we want to go to the update level. So again, if you do step into, it will go inside this, and then now we want to see what is the value. So here if you see, append number is there, sorry, addend number, so both are 3 and we want to add it. So when we are doing sum, then it is becoming 33, so it's like it is appending, it's not adding it. Okay, so this is the bug. So we know that, okay, here it is failing. Okay, now we want to add it like a digit. So suppose we are adding two digits, it should calculate and give us the result, not like appending, not like a string. Okay, so now here this is the problem. So for this we want a solution, right? So now if you see this and end one, so suppose we want to print, suppose you print this, it will give you this one, right? So it is giving a number. Parseint is basically being used for digits. Okay, so now we want to add two numbers, and then if you see, enter. So now if you see 3 plus 3 it took, and it is showing 6. So this is actually in console we can see, but now we want to make the change in the actual code. Okay, and that's how it will be fixed. Okay, so right now we will just yeah, and then one more thing, like suppose you want to, you already know, okay, here it is failed and here this the problem is here. So we can just go to this file and see in this line what we can make the change. So suppose you want to skip it or execute, like suppose you want to stop the flow here itself, then you can just click on this and it will just stop it. So it will just do F8 and then it will be done. Actually this F8 is not used to stop it, it is basically used to uh, go to the next breakpoint. But the thing is, here we are already we were already in the last line, so it didn't have any other line to go further, so it just stopped it. So like here if you see we have two breakpoints, right? So suppose you want to click on add and then do F8, then it will go to the next breakpoint if you see, right? And then you don't have any breakpoint, then if you do F8 it will just stop it. Okay, so now we want to fix that bug. Okay, so now the bug is this one in the test.js. So if you go to the test.js, here if you see this update, yeah, here the problem was here, right? So what we can do is we can just copy this, yeah. So yeah, so if you see we have just copied it. Okay, and now let's close this browser. Actually no need to close, we can just refresh also, it should be fine. So if we refresh it, it will take the new one, like the new changes will be reflected here. And now if you do F12 again, then yeah, so now if you see it opened again. Okay, and now we are giving numbers 3 plus 2, click on add, so it came here, the inputs are not empty, so we want to go to the next line. So next line is this. Now we want to see if the value is updated properly or not. Okay, so we will go inside this method by doing step into. Okay, now here if you see 3 and 3, so 3 values came, okay, from the get number 1, since it is just input value. And now if here if you see parseint, whatever we have made the changes there, it is reflecting here. So this is a string, but if you do parseint, then it will become a number that you can see like this also. Like this, if you see, it is showing just 3, but if you just hover on this, it will show 3 with inverted comma. This is just string. Okay, so now this 3 plus 3 it will show, then total sum should be 6. Right now it is undefined, so we'll go to the next line. So next line we just have to click on this, and then here if you see the sum is 3 plus 2, so it will be 5. So now it is showing the proper addition value, right? So now here it will just print this is the text content. So if you do F10 means this, then it will just print this. If you see 3 plus 2 is already there, and now if you do execute, then it is done, and now you will be able to see the proper value. This is what we wanted to fix by debugging the JavaScript. So I hope you understood how to debug the JavaScript, and I will just summarize this. So uh, let me just click on this. Yeah, so you can just keep a note of this, that you can use F10, F8, then F11. I don't know this control plus I've never used, but you can just use this step into to go inside a method, and this one to step out of that any method. Okay, and this is just to skip. So suppose you want to skip this, then you can just click on this, and F8 if you do, it will be just done. So this is just to skip, that's all. So I hope you liked my video. uh, just subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll just make a new video and come back soon. Thank you so much.